We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. Before we begin today, I'd just like to mention that the product being discussed in this video comes courtesy of Roger at Burn Your Tongue. So major shout out to Roger for providing the product you're about to see today. Burn Your Tongue is a purveyor of fine, spicy products cleverly hidden in the Newgate Mall in Ogden, Utah. It's probably my favorite physical hot sauce shop, and I think it's the best of its kind. If you're within a 100-mile radius of Ogden, Utah, and you care at all about this type of thing, I definitely encourage you to drive and make the visit. It is well worth your time. Roger also has a Facebook page, which I'll put in the description below. Feel free to check him out there. And what this is hopefully this logo is coming up legible here. Guys from Bear River Bottling, if you are listening, you may want to reconsider the color and the way that font is arranged. It's not super legible like that. However, what we have here is lightning hot buffalo sauce. And there's a story behind this, guys. You can go to the website and poke around there a little bit if you would like to see what that is. And we've also got, so this is out of Logan, Utah. We've got an ingredient panel here, guys. Let's take a look at this. Starting with vinegar, water, cayenne pepper, garlic, red habanero pepper, salt, and xanthan gum. So, relatively normal stuff for either a Cajun sauce, which I think this is honestly probably closest to, or maybe even a Louisiana style sauce, although you can see this to me is not Louisiana style sauce territory. This is more Cajun sauce territory. But they're saying buffalo, so that's cool. A little buffalo sauce, guys. And you can see it's got very, very viscous. It's very, very runny, very watery. And you got particulates everywhere in there, guys. So definitely that is a very notable component of this sauce. So let's take a look at it with a white point. Alright. Gotta be really careful with this because it's super runny and I don't want it all over my table. So you can see very pretty color, the usual red-orange we're kind of used to with this. You can see there is a lot of bits and pieces in there though as well. Yeah. It's pretty. It's a pretty nice looking sauce. Alright, well, down the hatch. Not really any heat to this. Flavor is really catching a lot of that garlic. Garlic is fairly prominent. You can see it in the sauce, little bits in there. Fairly prominent in the ingredient list. So again, this is reading to me a little bit more as a Cajun style sauce as opposed to Louisiana. Buffalo. So this series is meant to be a companion to the written review. And I expand on that a bit, but fast forwarding just a touch here, I generally like my buffalo sauce to be creamier. I'm a little fussy in that regard. I don't eat wings a whole lot, but when I do, that's kind of what my preference is. This is way more towards just a straight Cajun style sauce to me. And I like those. I just don't love those, I guess is how I would put that. I would prefer either a straight Louisiana sauce or something that is definitely just a little bit more on the creamy side for wings. I have had this on a number of things. One of the things I have not yet had it on is pizza. So what I have here is 3 of the mini Red Baron pepperoni pizzas. And, you know, I don't mind a good bit of a vinegary sauce on my pizzas. You just have to be a little bit careful with the runny ones because they can get to be too much really quickly. So we're just going to kind of put this on here. And we're going to let that soak for just a minute here, just so that it can kind of, the pizza can warm up the sauce. And also, because I really don't want this sauce all over my nifty cowl, of course. So this does come in an 8-ounce bottle. Big value for the money here. This is a hefty amount of sauce for the dollars. So that part they do pretty well on. If you're a fan of Cajun sauces, if you want a little bit more flavor than just a cayenne and vinegar and salt, which is really all I think a good Louisiana style sauce needs, this is worth a look. Like the Caribbean sauces, the Cajun sauces, I think they're nice as a change of pace, but I tend more just to want a nice solid Louisiana for the most part with a lot of the astringent sauces. Again, if it comes to buffalo, I do want a bit of creaminess, but again, that's, you know, personal preference, right? Everybody likes different stuff. That's why Buffalo Wild Wings has like 20 different sauces when you go there. So I think we let this sit long enough here. Very cutting. I guess what I was hoping was that the garlic would interact with pizza a little bit better. You know, a lot of us chili heads will put hot sauce on a pizza. Generally thicker ones I think are probably a little bit better suited for that. But we'll put it on there, and if you don't make the choice of going with a very, very excellent tasting to you sauce, I think you can very easily go into the shores of regret with that decision. This one, to me, is not a super great tasting sauce. I think it's fine for what it is as a Cajun style, which is where I think its strength is. But it's not... I probably wouldn't use this on pizza again, I guess. This is almost kind of frustrating because this is one step away from being quite good on this. But it's a big step. This would work pretty well with like collard greens or something like that, I would think, though. Maybe throw it on your mac and cheese. If you want a little bit more flavor than just some vinegar to cut into it. It really gets into how do you use sauce with your food. And a lot of people who are chili heads don't understand putting sauce all over everything. They think it's trying to mask the flavor. Sometimes it is. But they think it always is. Or they think it's always the same thing. Why would we use this? For me, it's always to enhance the flavor. Sometimes things are good, and then with the right sauce, you can make them great. And that's kind of where, again, that's where you need, you know, a bit of the resonant with you flavor. That's where that comes in. So for this one, I'm not a huge fan of Cajun style sauces. I think this is okay. I think it is a good representative of that style of sauce. So if you're sitting out there thinking, I don't understand what the difference between a Caribbean sauce versus a Louisiana style versus a Cajun style versus a buffalo sauce actually is, and they're all four very distinct and disparate sauces to me, feel free to read through the Stars Are Also Fire blog, which is, of course, linked right down there in the descriptions. Feel free to read through that because I get into the differences quite a bit. But this would be one of my picks if you want to understand what a Cajun sauce should be like. This is pretty much the epitome of that style of sauce. And if I were them, I would consider rebranding towards that. If they want to be buffalo, it needs to be a little bit creamier. I also kind of have a problem with them calling it hot. This is honestly more or less a default one. You have cayenne, which is, probably my all-time favorite pepper. Even with the habanero, though, I don't think there's enough of it in there to really stand on this. So this is a pretty mild sauce. So I guess that makes it pretty safe to see. You dive into it and you say, okay, well, I like Cajun. It is good enough that you're going to finish this bottle and be happy with it, I think. But for me, it definitely could use more heat. I would say that. And again, as far as the labeling, I think there's some work that could be done there, but pretty strong potential. I mean, this is it's a pretty thorough type encompassing sauce on the Cajun side of things. That you hit all the right notes there. It is slightly a bit more astringent, but again, you have a lot of variance with that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you're into Cajun sauces, forget the buffalo and just consider that. Again, though, very moderate heat, so if you're wanting some of that, this might not necessarily be the way to go. So there it is, our look at the Bear River Bottling Lightning Hot Buffalo Sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.